Hello, I'm Granville, Emerson, and welcome to another Lidline Sports. Today, my guy is back, Renault Pepe Bean.
What up, yo? I'm back.
Got a lot to talk about today.
Yes, sir.
You know what I want to start with, bruh?
Let me guess.
Mariners.
Say what?
If the season ended today, Pep, the Mariners would be in, I need you to say it, what is it?
I ain't saying that. They be in the playoffs.
They be in the playoffs. Yeah, you know what? Since May 28th,
Right.
the Mariners have the second best record in the American League.
All right.
You're not too enthused about that, are you?
Nope.
Why not, Pep?
Because it's August 9th.
You was all down on them when they were losing.
Yeah, well, I'm not up on them now, so I'm kind of even killed
games
as
or
usual.
so. Yeah, you even kill as usual.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Mr. Blase.
What you gonna tell me? They're a game and a half back. A month ago, you were saying they're 2.5 games back or 2 games back.
They've been in the hunt the whole time. That's my point. It's about getting in the playoffs. We all know that.
Yeah.
We all know that in every sport. Regular season, yeah. But if you can get into the playoffs, sometimes that magic happens.
It can.
It can. So, hey, let's keep hope alive for those Seattle Mariners. They've been balling since May 28th.
Yeah, not
They're
bad.
10 games
They had a nice
over
comeback
500.
win. They had a nice comeback win last night.
Yeah, they did.
Down 6-1, tied it up, and then won in the 10th.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mr. Baseball.
Oh, yeah.
But guess what?
What?
Guess what, Lucius? That's our engineer, Lucius. It's football season, Lucius.
Okay. He's ready. He's got his denim on.
It all started last Thursday. I didn't even realize it, Pep. I was actually in Long Beach at the Peninsula in the Buffalo Wild Wings. I went into I love the jerk or Caribbean chicken or jerk chicken wings that they have at Buffalo Wild Wings. I was tired of eating burgers. So I went into Buffalo Wild Wings to get some Caribbean jerk chicken wings. And I looked up on the big screen and the Cowboys were playing the Arizona Cardinals.
What?
And I didn't even realize football season had officially started.
Well, you know what told me?
What?
Facebook. Cowboy fans. Oh, we got a game tonight. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even know.
The Cowboys beat the Arizona Cardinals in the first preseason game of the year, 20-18. And guess what happened after that?
Parade?
Almost. Cowboy fans started booking their flights and hotel reservations from Minneapolis, Minnesota, the site of the Super Bowl on February 4th, 2018.
Well, they can go if they got tickets.
thinking their Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. Pump your brakes, Cowboys fans.
Man.
That's only a preseason game. And y'all was down.
Florida breaks.
Yeah. y'all Cowboy fans, y'all were down 15-0 to Blaine Gabbert. Before y'all made your little comeback with your third and fourth stringers and against their third and fourth stringers. Anyway, Pep, your dude. And this is your dude. I kid around a lot about saying people are your dude. But your dude, Mike Tomlin, just re-upped his contract.
Yes, thank goodness. But, well, you know what? Listen, I've been a little down on him recently. Last year, I wasn't too high on him. I was kind of a little angry at him. So this year, I'm gonna try and just not to overreact, because I always accuse people of having overreaction Monday or whatever after Sunday's games. So I'm gonna follow my own lead and not overreact. I'm not gonna get too high. I'm not gonna get too low on that. So, but I am glad that he is back.
Your little honey trying to page you over there? I hear your phone going off.
Wow. Really? You gonna blast me like that? Okay.
Somebody's trying to get in touch with that Pepster. Just text him back. I'm on the air live right now at Rainier Avenue Radio.world on Lidline Sports.
It ain't my peeps down at Homer Business. I know it's not them. Shout
back
out
to Mike Tomlin. What I like about the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially since I'm a coach,
right,
is they retain and maintain their coaches.
Yes.
I'm not a Steeler fan, but I only remember they've had, like, what, 2 coaches? 3?
3.
There was
Chuck Noll,
Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin.
And Tom, yes.
And
all 3 of them have Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Holland.
So you have to give it to the Pittsburgh Steelers, even if you're not a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. They have always been on the cutting edge, though.
Right.
And you have to start with their owner, Art Rooney.
Yes.
And the very fact that there's a rule in place in the NFL that tries to ensure that black candidates get an opportunity to interview for head coaching jobs, and that rule is called?
I don't know what it's called.
The Art Rooney rule.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Come on, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hey, man, you know.
Come on, you got to give your owner some props, man.
Hey, I love the guy. You kidding me?
Yeah, he is one of the best owners in sports. Was one of the best owners in sports, along with my guy Jerry Buss from the Los Angeles Lakers, who I think was the best owner in sports. But we'll keep it pushing. Right. Devontae Freeman today signed a 5-year, $41.5 million contract.
So where does he stand as far as running backs on the pay scale?
He is the highest paid running back.
All right.
Not the best.
Holla. Let's make that clear.
He is benefiting from the Mike Conley rule.
Oh.
Mike Conley from the basketball Memphis Grizzlies.
Right.
Was the highest paid NBA player until Steph Curry surpassed him, right?
Yes.
So Devontae Freeman, 5 years, $41.5 million. It's around almost $9 million a year. Le'Veon Bell, franchise tagged by the Pittsburgh Steelers running back, the best running back in the league. It'll be interesting to see what his contract is next year.
Right.
After they franchised him for $12 million a year.
Yes.
So we'll see.
Now, is he in camp yet? I haven't heard.
I don't know. I haven't heard that he went to camp yet either, but you can't be asking me no questions about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Why not?
That's your squad. You're supposed to know. You're on a dang sports show. So you better try to get your Pittsburgh Steelers information together before we boycott.
All right, Cap.
Anyway, speaking of boycott, the Miami Dolphins. I know you guys have heard about this out there in sports world.
Oh, yeah.
And for those of you that have not, the Miami Dolphins quarterback, their starting quarterback, got hurt.
Ryan Tannehill.
Non-contact injury.
Yes.
I saw the video. He was running out of bounds and did something. Tore ACL, I don't know. He may have surgery. They're not telling you if he needs surgery right now. But they went, Pat, and got down on bended knees and begged the great Jake Cutler to come out of retirement.
Yeah. That's great.
Retirement.
Yes. And this guy, I tell you what, Packer fans, that was their favorite quarterback because he threw to them just as much as Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers did. But seriously, Jay Cutler, you can't do better than that, really. And people are, making excuses, saying that, well, he has a strong arm. Yeah, what's the good of a strong arm if it's not accurate?
Exactly.
I mean, really. The guy has proven that he can't play under pressure. He's not leading the team anywhere. He couldn't lead a team out of an open garage door. So, I mean, really, why get excited over him? And why pay him $10 million?
Here's the thing, folks. Jake Cutler got ran out of Chicago.
Yes.
And I mean ran out.
Yes.
That's not a hyperbole.
Concur. I have said this.
They ran him out of Chicago because of his quarterback play.
Or lack of.
Lack of quarterback play, yes.
Because he wasn't playing on a high level like somebody I know in this room.
And I had a strong arm, too.
Yeah.
But they ran him out of Chicago. He was the most disinterested quarterback that I've ever seen. I wish I could show you all the picture of Jake Cutler on the sidelines, head in hand, on the bench, like, when is this going to be over?
Right.
I can't wait for the season to be over. So he goes to a Dolphins team, Pep, that even with starting quarterback Ryan Tannehill, they weren't expected to make the playoffs.
No.
So you add Jake Cutler to that mix of a non-playoff team and his known historical apathy during games, in the locker room.
Listen, his statements in the interview the other day, it tells you everything he needs to know. He's glad he's a quarterback because he didn't have to keep up with his cardio. I mean, that's... wow. Really? I mean, he got me speechless. I'm stumbling and fumbling now. I mean, I don't know what to say about that.
He may need his cardio because he's going to be running for some D linemen or just getting smacked. He might not last the first few games. He might not last the first few games. He's not a mobile quarterback.
Well, first of all, he's not supposed to be the starter anyway. Matt Moore is. Am I correct?
Matt Moore's garbage. But yeah, Matt Moore should be the starter.
But he was announced that he was going to be the starter. Yeah.
He should be the starter. But Matt Moore is garbage. He's another dude that's gone around the league from team to team, and I can't figure out why he's done that other than the fact that I remember picking up at LA Times and reading the article on him when he was in high school about him being the next best thing. So they may still be expecting him to be that next best thing from when he was in high school.
Right.
But Matt Moore is garbage. And so is Jake Cutler. And you asked about why did they pay him $10 million?
$10 million.
First of all, they contacted him.
Right.
And because the new head coach used to coach him.
Yes.
So they contacted him because he knows...
Which makes me question his ability to coach that team.
He's going to get fired too. He's not going to last long.
Heck no.
Because he says Jake knows his offense. Okay. He may have book knowledge, but a lot of quarterbacks know offenses, but can they actually execute on the field?
Thank you. Yes.
So they went to Cutler, folks, and asked him to come to the Miami Dolphins and play. Jake said, only if I'm starting. They said, Jake, you got to compete. Jake's like, oh, well, that's okay. I don't want to come. It's like, oh, no, come on, Jake.
We're throwing a pack of Newports.
I'm laughing, folks, because that's, in my mind, I see this NFL meme that came out the other day that Jake Cutler is going to hand out 10,000 Newport singles.
Oh, yeah, they got to be singles.
To the first 10,000 fans who have to come to the Miami game. Single Newports.
Thanks for coming.
and so he said no, and then they threw money at him.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And ended up giving him the starting job, a $10 million contract.
Right. Well, they're suckers.
And a $3 million signing bonus.
Man.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I want to segue into this. I think this is a great place to seg into this way. Colin Kaepernick renegotiated, restructured his contract with the San Francisco 49ers.
Right. Who weren't going to keep him anyway.
Because they weren't going to keep him. And they told him they weren't going to keep him.
Right.
All right? So he had an option year that if they picked up their option, he had an option to go to stay or go. So they restructured the deal so that he became a free agent.
Right.
Right? So his agent's asking price on the market was, do you know how much money? $10 million.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
He was scheduled to make $14 million if the 49ers would have kept him.
Right.
But they're trying to clear salary cap space.
Yes.
So they told him that they would cut him. Not the NBA where you got guaranteed contracts,
right.
folks.
Not guaranteed money.
Or guaranteed money. Well, now you do have guaranteed money in the NFL, but there's only a portion of that that's guaranteed.
Mostly it's backloaded.
Yeah. And the NBA, your whole contract's basically guaranteed.
Well, I mean, the guarantee is front-loaded, but the bulk of the contract is backloaded. So
Yes.
usually players, when they're in the last 1 or 2 years, don't see that money because they get cut.
Yes. So for you Seattle fans, that was the whole thing with Marshawn Lynch. When he had his little holdout, he wanted to get his money up front. And Seahawks actually gave him that $5 million up front.
Yes.
And then he went and left, retired, and then came out of retirement and went.
I ain't mad at him though.
But that's how you do it.
No, hey.
So Colin Kaepernick wanted a $10 million deal,
right,
to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yes.
The NFL said no. And they have whiteballed Colin Kaepernick, which leads us to where we are today. There is a lot of chatter going on. I love the fact that Colin Kaepernick is basically remaining silent and let other folks do the talking for him.
Yeah. He's already talked enough with his stance.
He has. So we talked about this last week of why Kaepernick is being whiteballed, that no teams have signed him. The only team that showed any interest was the Seattle Seahawks, who brought him in for an interview. That in itself was unprecedented to me.
Right. They actually brought him in here
for an interview.
And he worked out.
He didn't work out. They said he was going to work out.
Okay.
But he never worked out.
Oh, okay. I was told he worked out, but
yeah.
all right.
Yeah, that was what they said was going to happen, but it didn't actually happen.
Right.
They just talked to him. And so that normally doesn't happen with a starting QB. I don't know any other QBs that teams brought in for an interview. Usually they bring a guy in, work him out, and then sign him or not sign him.
Right.
Right? They don't bring you in to talk to you. Bring somebody in to talk to him. I never heard anybody coming in, man, I need to talk to you. No. When you're a free agent and you haven't played, they bring you in, talk to you. Maybe. I don't know. But then the situation arose, and everybody was saying, oh, well, Colin Kaepernick will get a job if another quarterback gets hurt.
Right.
All right, so first casualty, Joe Flacco. In Baltimore.
Right.
Joe Flacco gets hurt. Oh, Colin Kaepernick has an opportunity in Baltimore. Then Ray Lewis gets involved.
Well, they brought him involved.
Exactly.
Which
And
is insane to me.
they held a fan forum, and the fans said they didn't want Kaepernick, and sponsors said that if you sign Kaepernick, we're going to drop you as a sponsor, which is racist in itself.
Absolutely.
And people don't want to recognize that it is.
Because what did he do? He's not a criminal. He didn't abuse his wife, a la Josh Brown.
We've established that.
Yes. But sometimes, I think you have to reiterate because people somehow have amnesia and forget.
Agreed.
And people also forget the reason he is making the stand that he is making. It's not about disrespecting America. It's not about disrespecting the flag. It has nothing to do with the anthem. It's the fact that black people were being murdered by police officers and law enforcement, and I'm talking about innocent black people, no weapons, and it's happening at an alarming rate. It's not once, one every other day or a week or whatever. This was happening at an alarming rate. One a week, one a day, whatever it was. I mean, it was ridiculous. And people, he got tired of it. So, this is the stand that he took because he is an athlete and he's on a stage that he can do that. What else can he do other than, say that I'm not going to stand up for an anthem that disrespects people of color. It doesn't respect me, so how can I show that that's disrespectful? So that's the only way he could do it. I mean, he's not going to just not do interviews.
Here's the thing that gets me. Some people will retort, well, he's making millions of dollars and he's not even really black because his father is black and his mother's white. Or he was adopted and raised by white parents. That's actually what I was thinking about somebody else.
Right.
And that's stupid.
Very.
Because he is black, number one. And number two, true altruism, which he is an altruistic person, is somebody that cares about others at the expense of themselves.
Bam.
So he stood up for people like him and for people who didn't have money like he does. And that is a real man. That's what real men do. So they didn't sign him in Baltimore. Then Tannehill gets hurt in Miami.
And Miami doesn't even look at him or even talk to him or bring him in. Listen, there wasn't even a chance that even he would even have rumors to go there because as soon as Tannehill got hurt, they placed that call to Cutler, like lickety split. I mean,
so now I'm happy to see it. I've been talking about it for a long, long time that I am boycotting, not telling you what to do.
Right.
Find your own conscience.
Yes.
But I'm boycotting, and there's boycotts going on and protests planned around the NFL. On September 17th, I will be participating in a protest at CenturyLink at the first Seahawks home game. You're welcome to come join me. Join us. I'm not asking you to. Just welcome if you're interested and want to know how to get involved in the boycott. The boycott, for me, no NFL Sunday ticket, no watching NFL games, no buying NFL merchandise, no going to NFL games. That's my boycott. You're welcome to join me in that. I'm not telling you to do that.
Right.
But you're welcome to join me in that if you want to know how.
Well, I would like for this to be effective. I would like to see everyone that can and will want to participate do so. I'm not saying that this is not just for people of color or for black people. This is for everyone who does not feel that Kaepernick is being treated fairly. I mean, as a human being, this is what I'm talking about. This has nothing, right now, I'm not talking about black, white, whatever. I'm talking about anyone that feels that this human being is being treated unfairly should be appalled at what's happening. And so if you want to protest or boycott that, then you should. So it's not a black thing, okay? This is an everybody thing.
Here's the issue. He is being denied the right to work. That's a labor issue. So it's really not political as much as it is labor. That he's being denied the opportunity to work not because of his skill, not because of anything that he's done wrong, but solely because he stood up. Somebody asked me yesterday, a Cowboy fan actually, asked me, why am I boycotting? I am boycotting because this man, at the expense of his career and at the expense of his financial stability and livelihood, took a stand to tell the truth about atrocities that are committed against innocent people by the police who are being paid by those people to protect and serve. Think about that. Think about that. He took a stand at the expense of his career. So if he's going to do that and tell the truth and be ostracized for it, I feel obligated as a black man that could be in that same circumstance with the police and have been to the degree where I've not been, of course, killed, but I have been harassed on a lot of different occasions.
Right.
Okay? So there's something wrong with the system. Not all police are bad, but there are a lot of corrupt police.
Yes.
All right? And he's standing for people who are disenfranchised, that have not had opportunities like he has, and do not have money like he has. He's standing for them. And so I want to stand with him against the powers that be that seek to silence his voice in a land that says that you have the right to protest and to peaceful protest, yes, and the right to free speech, which he has exercised both of those, but now he can't find a job because he's exercised his constitutional rights. That's why I'm boycotting.
Right.
Spike Lee will lead a rally at NFL headquarters on August 23rd. So if you're in or around that area, feel free to join Spike Lee. And don't take heed to the fake news that Kaepernick could have signed an NFL contract, but he didn't, to play up the race card.
Yes.
That is fake news. If anybody's playing the race card right now, it is the National Football League. When we come back, we'll talk about, should the players get involved with protesting what's going on with Colin Kaepernick? And we'll talk more NFL, NBA, and those Washington Husky running backs when we come back on Lidline Sports. Don't go away.
We don't have anything on our head.
Hello, I'm Granville Emerson, along with my partner Renault Pepe Bean.
What? Be up.
Welcome back to Lidline Sports on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. On Facebook, check out our Facebook page, Lidline Sports. On Instagram and on Twitter at Lidline Sports. We're talking Colin Kaepernick, and we're talking about, should the NFL players join in with a boycott or protest? Pep, your thoughts before I give mine?
Well, I would like to see that happen, but of course, game checks, whatever, reputation. I would like to see this kind of solidarity that Muhammad Ali had when he was banned. He had like 22, 23 of his fellow athletes behind him at press conferences and, showing that kind of solidarity. It didn't help as far as getting him reinstated, but it did show, and it did, show love and respect and solidarity, and right now we're not seeing much of that.
ESPN's Howard Bryant, a writer for ESPN.com, went on a tweet storm the other night, and I'll quote him right here where he says, and quote, "I think that every African American in the sport should be ashamed of themselves." He also said that the white players in the NFL should be ashamed of themselves. If you're a union, you have to send some type of message that this isn't acceptable.
I agree with that.
That's what I've been saying for the last few weeks. I'm like, where are the players? And one of the things that stood out to me about what you said, Pep, I heard you mention money. Mm-hmm. And players are worried about their money. Mm-hmm. So now money rules over each other, and money rules over character and consciousness and activism. We'll never get anywhere if that's the case. If people are unwilling to sacrifice. And I would say, and I agree with you on that, Pep, because we talked before about when we were talking about the players striking
Right.
for guaranteed contracts.
Yes.
And how that would be hard.
Right.
Because dudes don't want to give up money.
No.
For a better cause. Right?
No.
And that is their mentality. They don't have the... I joked around the other day because I went to go see a very nice theater in Century City. I went to go see War of the Planet of the Apes. Mm-hmm. They need to go see War of the Planet of the Apes. And stick together like the apes stuck together to win. The apes said we are stronger together.
Right. But, if we didn't have people like Kurt Flood, who got the free agency started in baseball, people like Spencer Haywood, who declared hardship and had to go to court and fight and win. People like that paved the way for the way of life these players have today. And, we need to pay homage to not only that, but to continue that by supporting those that are doing so themselves.
In 1965, in the American Football League, at that time there were two leagues, the National Football League
Right.
and the American Football League.
Correct.
Those leagues joined together, which comprised the present-day National Football League, made up of the American Football Conference and the National Football Conference.
Yes.
In 1965, black players organized a successful boycott of the AFL All-Star Game in New Orleans. They said that they would not play. Why? Because of the racist treatment that players were receiving in the city of New Orleans, where they could not eat at restaurants, had to come in the back door of hotels, were called all kinds of names by people, and they boycotted.
Yes.
And they weren't the only ones to boycott. Butch Beard, a rookie defensive back from Buffalo, said he had no problem. He didn't think anything about it. When he couldn't get a cab, he thought it was just the cabs. He went to the second cab and the third one and didn't get a cab until a black cab driver gave him a ride. He said that was just the beginning. The All-Stars weren't allowed in downtown New Orleans restaurants. One of them had a gun pulled on him and was refused to be served at a restaurant. There was only a few black players in the AFL at that time. Most of them came out of black colleges. But Cookie Gilchrist led the boycott of black players and also white players. Jack Kemp, quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, joined in the boycott. Jack Kemp went on to be a U.S. congressman. They successfully had the game moved from New Orleans to Houston.
Right.
Well, what did that do? It showed the city of New Orleans the power of collective unity. They got no money.
That's right.
From that game being played there.
Mm-hmm.
Pep, I was looking at my hotel bill from when I stayed at the Westin in Los Angeles over the weekend.
Okay.
There was a charge each day for visiting, a visitor's charge to the city of Los Angeles.
What?
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah, that's every hotel. That's every hotel.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how cities make money.
I need to start looking at my receipts.
That's how cities make money. That's why they want conventions and big games and all of that to bring money to the city.
Oh yeah.
Because they get paid. The realtors get paid.
Right.
The retailers get paid. The hotels get paid from the tourism. Okay.
Yes.
So it's about today's current black players showing their unity as a block, as an entity, both black and white, and stepping up with the top players to begin with and saying, no, we're going to band together and protest, and if you don't, we're not going to play. And if we don't play, then you're going to be losing money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. And all people can think about is the money the players are going to lose. The NFL doesn't want to lose money.
No.
Right?
Heck no.
And so...
Right now, the NFL is it in America. I mean, that's the number one sport.
The number one sport.
It passed baseball a long time ago. But right now, NFL is it.
The number one sport. So, if that happens, and the fans boycott happens, the NFL is going to be at the mercy of the players and the fans. That's what people need to understand.
Yes. It's got to be a unified front.
It's called short-term pain for long-term gain. Right? That's what we need to understand. Sometimes it's gonna hurt me, Pep.
Yes.
I'm like, man, I was so ready for this season to start. I mean, my guy Russell Wilson is looking the best he's ever looked in camp, I hear. I'm ready for this. It's gonna hurt me to not watch those games.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a friend that just got season tickets. He's finally get to go, and he's now torn.
Hey, I got a plane ticket to Oakland to go watch Marshawn Lynch with the Raiders.
Right.
I'm going to go down to Oakland and not even watch the game. It's going to hurt me. But it's short-term pain for long-term gain. So I hope the players do stand up, because the other part of that thing to me, Pep, is...
necessary, bro.
What if they do something and the league mistreats them?
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Wouldn't you want the other players to stand with you?
Right.
If you're right and really haven't done anything wrong? Right?
Absolutely.
This sets bad precedent for the National Football League's Players Association to not come to bat with Colin Kaepernick and say he has not done anything wrong. I like the way Mark Cuban said it. Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, who says that the NBA would not let this happen, that they would stand with their player in this instance. They didn't with Mahmoud Abdul Rauf of the Denver Nuggets, Chris Jackson, when he didn't stand for the flag. They didn't back then.
Right.
But this new group of owners today, I believe, would, the same owners that got rid of Donald Sterling.
Yes.
I believe they would. And so the NFL needs to take that posture, get off the plantation mentality, and do the right thing. And the Players Association needs to do the right thing. Moving on to the NFL Hall of Fame ceremonies.
Yes.
Which were last week. Kenny Easley.
Right. They cut his prompter off towards the end of his speech.
I just happened to be checking into the Westin, turned on the TV, and that was coming on. Kenny Easley was coming on. So I listened to his whole speech. It was long as heck.
It was about 21 minutes.
23 minutes.
Yeah, that's close.
And then he act like at the end he really didn't take that much time.
You're right.
He was feeling it though. I'm not mad at him.
No, I mean his speech. He thanked a lot of people, and he even was grateful to the Seahawks, because they've been estranged for 25 years. A lot of people don't know this, that he actually sued the Seahawks because of his kidney ailment and whatnot. And so, but they reconciled. So right now, he's going in. He's a Seahawk, and he even said in his speech that he hopes that they're in the Super Bowl 2018, so on and so forth. But then he got to the point towards the end of his speech talking about Black Lives Matter, and that's when they did the yank. But he didn't say anything controversial whatsoever. All he did was say that what we should all agree on is that this needs to stop as far as the killing of black men by law enforcement. That's all he said. He didn't make any reference to Kaepernick whatsoever and what he was doing. He was just saying that this thing needs to stop. But, the network said, nope.
Easily spent his entire career with the Seattle Seahawks. He was the fourth Seahawk inducted into the Hall of Fame. After he retired, actually he was traded to the Arizona Cardinals, and they found out that he was suffering from kidney failure.
Right.
The Seahawks did not disclose that to him while he was there, and so he was angry at the Seattle Seahawks because they're the ones who had prescribed the pain medication to get him back out on the field.
Right.
And he played using prescription pain medication. And so he was angry at the Hawks, disappeared for 15 years. Seahawks owner Paul Allen
Yes, he
found him.
to him. Yes.
Brought him back and inducted him into the Seahawk Ring of Honor. And that's why his allegiance and love now is for the modern-day Seahawks. He still has none for the old-school Seahawks
right.
at all.
And he will actually be in Seattle on October the 1st for that game, for the Indianapolis Colts game.
LaDainian Tomlinson, running back for the Chargers, set the Hall of Fame ceremony on fire. The most talked about speech coming out of that induction ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
He actually channeled me and what I said almost to the T.
Is he listening to Lidline?
I don't know, but he said what I said last week. And if you all were listening last week, you know I said these words, and I quote. Now, this is from LaDainian Tomlinson, running back, San Diego Chargers. Quote, "Football is a microcosm of America. All races, religions, and creeds living, playing, competing side by side. When you're a part of a team, you understand your teammates. Their strengths and weaknesses work together towards the same goal to win a championship. In this context, I advocate we become Team America." I said last week that football is a microcosm
Yes, you did.
of America. That we need to be more like football. That we all need to play together, accentuate each other's differences, strengths, and weaknesses, and make America a better place.
Right.
That is what really needs to happen. Not the reverse that's happening in the Kaepernick situation, where the powers that be in the NFL are bringing racism into the league and trying to deny Kaepernick of his right to work. LaDainian Tomlinson talked about his great-great-great-great-grandfather being a slave, and that he got his last name from the slave master, Tomlinson, that he himself grew up on that plantation. And he had went back to where he grew up when he got nominated into the Hall of Fame and started thinking about how his great-grandfather, great-great-great-grandfather, made his way after being free, and how difficult that must have been. But because of his great-great-grandfather, all the lineages of Tomlinsons, including him, have come along, and how he's helped to make that name great.
Okay.
And that's America. And how Tomlinson is white and Tomlinson is black, but they're all American. And if the racist white faction of America would go away, America could be that harmonious place with every race working together for a common good.
Right.
That's my prayer that happens. And that's what LaDainian Tomlinson was talking about in his Hall of Fame speech that was much ballyhooed. The Seattle Seahawks in their second week of training camp, Pep.
Mm-hmm.
Malik McDowell, I said last week, it was reported, you can't even go with the first report nowadays because they said he was not really injured and would be in camp. Then when he gets to camp, now they're saying his injury is serious.
Yeah. Like you said, you can't go by the first report. I don't even know what happened. I mean, I've heard what happened, as far as he was on the ATV. But why? Why are these guys riding around in ATVs, just before training camp?
It's the $3 million signing bonus. He's out having fun. Not being smart. On an ATV, crashed his ATV, has a concussion now, says all he can do is walk. They sent him back to Michigan. He may be out for the season now.
Yeah, I would think he probably is.
That's sad. So you put that on top of Frank Clark being suspended 4 days for sucker punching Jermaine Ifedi.
Right.
Now, what's that all about?
I don't know.
Who does that?
Frank Clark.
I've seen NFL fights, but Ifedi had his helmet off, and he just blindsided him with a cold cock punch.
But he's had issues before. This is not new as far as Frank Clark is concerned with scuffles and melees and things like that. But you know what? You've heard me say this 100 times. Just because you're a talented athlete, the person you are is the person you are. If you're a jerk, you're going to be a jerk no matter what. I don't care if like Jordan, he's a great basketball player, but that don't mean he's a great guy. He might be a great guy. I'm not saying he's not. But I'm just saying, in retrospect, general speaking, if you're a jerk, you're going to be a jerk for the most part. That's not going to change you.
Here's my thing. Frank Clark being suspended for forced practices, Jermaine Ifedi being out of practices, has set the Seahawks back.
Yeah.
Malik McDowell has set the Seahawks back. Now our would-be really, really dominant defense, I don't know if it's going to be that dominant. I was counting on Malik McDowell to be a factor.
Right.
And Frank Clark to be a factor. Now, I don't know. Shaq Griffin's looking good. May start opposite Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman is tutoring him, and he's coming along real fast. Jeremy Lane will be playing the nickel.
But I heard he was having a good camp, too.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. He's having a really good camp. On to the NBA. The NBA traveled to Johannesburg, South Africa for Dikembe Mutombo's Basketball Without Borders.
Okay.
That's a very good thing where they go in and they train kids how to play basketball.
Right.
With some of the NBA stars. And they held a game. The NBA, it was Team World versus Team Africa. And Team World beat Team Africa, but in spite of losing 108-97, Victor Oladipo
was the MVP.
Oladipo traded from OKC to Indianapolis.
Right.
Won the MVP. Other people on that team: Dirk Nowitzki, Joel Embiid, Kyle Lowry, Kristaps Porzingis, and Serge Ibaka, and C.J. McCollum.
So Embiid, he's actually must be healthy then, because he's played 30 games in his whole career in 2-3 seasons.
Yeah, he's healthy right now.
Yeah.
See if he stays healthy during the season.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question the guy is super talented. I mean, if he could play consistently, he's gonna be something else.
The funniest thing in the world, though, at the Basketball Without Borders, Porzingis was doing a dunking exhibition for the kids, and then Dirk Nowitzki decided he was going to get in on it.
And couldn't dunk.
Did you see that? And then he said it was because he wasn't loose yet. Oh, that's hilarious. What's going down in the town, Pap?
You tell me. Oh, UW, I guess. The running backs. You want to talk about that?
Oh, yeah. UW running backs. Are you all up on our running backs? The UW has the best, maybe arguably, the best running backs in the nation. Myles Gaskin and Lavon Coleman combined for 2,225 yards and 7 TDs last year.
Yeah, they were good.
And are back.
Yeah, until they ran into Alabama.
Well, whatever. Alabama's Alabama.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Alabama's Alabama. They're cheating. You already know.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Old time.
I'm just kidding. I mean, everybody. I mean, it's like when I moved up here, and Rainier Beach was really dominant. Right. And I was talking to kids, and kids are growing up wanting to go to Rainier Beach. Mm. So kids grew up wanting to go to Alabama.
Right.
That's true. You get what I'm saying? Absolutely. And so it's hard right now to defeat Alabama. That's why you have to give Clemson a whole lot of props for beating them last year. And so back to the UW running backs, they are exciting to watch. You got the best 1-2 punch in the nation. Gaskin's a little short, slithery running back. Right. And Lavon Coleman, who will probably be, I know Gaskin has rushed for more yardage. As a matter of fact, he holds the rushing record for the UW right now. Mm-hmm. Which is saying a lot because UW has had a great history of good running backs and running backs that have gone on and done great things in the NFL, like Napoleon Kaufman, just to name one. But Lavon Coleman will probably be one of the top running backs drafted. He's just sheer size, power, and speed. Right. And you can't pass that up. Also, did I say this, that they're returning 5 starting linemen?
No, you didn't.
5 starting linemen. That helps tremendously.
Yes.
They also have this kid that has been the highlight of the fall camp, a freshman from Juanita across the water in Kirkland. His name is Salvon Ahmed. And they said that Ahmed is the truth.
Okay.
And they've been trying to figure out ways to get him the ball, and he's being tutored by Chico McClatcher.
Yes, that's your guy right there.
Yeah, he's running back, wide receiver, do it all. You all going to see him do it for the UW Huskies. Right. On behalf of Renault Pepe Bean, I'm Granville Emerson. Thank you for listening to Lidline Sports today on Rainier Avenue Radio.world and around the world. You can listen to us on Lidline Sports on our Facebook page and find us on Twitter at Lidline Sports. Join us again next week for more great sports talk radio on Lidline Sports. Sports as we see it from
just below our lid.
Holla. Epic.
Yes.